Time for sports. Maya's here with that. Maya.
Well, Hudson, the hockey world is in shock over the untimely death of yet another NHL player. Wade Belak died yesterday in a Toronto hotel from an apparent suicide. He is the third enforcer to die in the past 4 months. And it's brought into question the role of the tough guy, the hazards of the job, and the long-term effects. Current NHL defenseman and former Nanaimo Clipper Ryan O'Byrne spent an entire NHL season fighting for his paycheck, and if he had to, he'd do it again.
Here's the play.
They offered $1.4 million per season and another 2 years in the NHL. Ryan O'Byrne jumped at the chance to re-sign with the Colorado Avalanche.
There's so much money to be made in the league. Guys will really do whatever it takes to be there, and myself included.
But with the paycheck comes pressure to perform. O'Byrne began his career in hockey-mad Montreal, where every goal is celebrated and every mistake scrutinized.
It was tough. A lot of days were really, really tough. Some days you don't even want to go to the rink.
After one tough season in Montreal, O'Byrne showed up for training camp ready to fight for his job on the Habs blue line.
I knew I had to fight, and I fought 3 times in training camp, and I fought, just under 10 times during the season, and that was kind of the position I was in. I was, a 6'7" defenseman, and unfortunately, you got to do something out there, and that's just kind of the way the game's played.
Since being traded to Colorado, Ryan's role has changed. He's one of the Avs' top 4 defensemen and led the team in hits last year. Luckily, hits to the head have been few. O'Byrne remains concussion-free in his NHL career. Not every player can say that, and enforcers often won't say anything at all.
They can't afford to sit out 20 games with a concussion. So I think maybe sometimes those guys just kind of say, oh, well, I have concussion, but they don't want to tell anybody. I don't think Wade Belak or Ripien had many concussion problems, but it all, as I said, all kind of comes in together as being a fighter, and that's a tough job.
Almost as tough as no longer having a job. O'Byrne will likely end up in front of the camera when his hockey career is over. He's already done some analyst work for the NHL Network. But not every hockey player has his foresight.
Like Wade Belak, he just retired, and some guys have a real struggle with adapting to life after hockey, not really having that spotlight. The best advice I've heard is once you start in the NHL, you start thinking what you're going to do afterwards right away, just so you're kind of getting prepared for that transition for sure.
O'Byrne is active in the NHL Players Association and says the PA and the league will be looking into the untimely deaths of Derek Boogaard, Rick Ripien, and Wade Belak. Mental health will be at the forefront of their discussions.
I think this will be a big eye-opener for everybody, and just kind of that, mental illness isn't something to be ashamed about. Are you feeling down or whatever, for whatever reason, just talk about it with somebody. And then I think hockey players are probably guilty of it for sure. It's just, they got that ego and they just keep it bottled in, and then it kind of hits a tipping point. And unfortunately, we've seen that this summer.